Hello and welcome. This is James Maduke speaking from teachonline.io and trainingsites.io, our digital marketing agency for coaches, consultants, speakers, authors, anyone who has a lot of stuff in their head, they want to get it out and either create courses or basically teach or educate or share people about all their experiences. So this is a live webcast that we run every Wednesday. These are ad hoc open classroom kind of setups. There's all sorts of stuff that happens here and it's unstructured. So if you do have any questions, you should be able to enter them on the chat on this live feed. And then also, if you're watching this after the fact, put the comments or questions in the comments below in YouTube. Now, all of these particular videos are actually up on, they're up available now. And you should be able to see them. And I want to make sure that we've actually got a live stream happening here. We are recording it, and let's see what happens here. Just want to make sure we've got an actual feed. And see, when I first started looking at YouTube, long time. Well, think of it this way. So you're a course creator. You're someone who's creating courses. And for the most part, many coaches or speakers or consultants, they're going, man, I got a super program. If you're a speaker, you go, I got a keynote. I got 45 minutes. I got an hour to do this. I got a big slide deck. I'm going to get my 45 minutes out. I'm going to answer some questions at the end, and hopefully they'll hire me for consulting. Or if you're a coach, you're going, oh man, got a coaching program, or someone saw me speak or saw me on a webinar. They've approached me and they're looking for some one-on-one help. So I'm going to go and I'm going to help them and say, wow, great. I'm a coach or a consultant and I'm helping someone out. These are ways that traditionally happen. And to market yourself, some people went and they would upload, or at least starting to upload or add videos either about their program or marketing themselves on YouTube. And again, there's all sorts of different variations of the types of videos that you do on YouTube. And I covered in I think yesterday or the day before, talking about video formats. YouTube has a number of video formats now. And I'm not talking about the aspect ratios or the size, whether it's a desktop wide 16:9 or the mobile 9:16 aspect ratio. I'm talking about whether it is a short, which is a narrow or mobile friendly under 60-second video, or if you get in a traditional long video, which are, you find most of the videos that are in that traditional one that you expect, they're usually like 8 to 20 minutes kind of thing. You'll see the odd one a little bit longer, but that long form video is 8 to 20 minutes kind of thing, or 5 to 25 kind of on the outside. So there's that style. And then the other thing you're starting to see is kind of an interview style or a long tutorial style, which tend to be like an hour, or some of them are a lot longer. And as a speaker or a coach or subject matter expert, our natural non-YouTube kind of idea is, I got 45 minutes, I got to jam everything in, I got to answer some questions, and then I'm going to get hired to earn some extra revenue. But this 45 minutes, it's not chunked in any way. It is a 45-minute drop. It's like you're dropping the content, you're dumping everything out on the table. And for many people, it's a struggle because you got all the stuff in your head, and then you're going, man, how do I get it into 45 minutes in a way that people will understand, that they can get value from, and then I have some time to sell myself on my other services to generate some revenue. So the kind of videos that a coach or consultant or a subject matter expert puts out on YouTube aren't necessarily structured to educate well. They're often more marketing related, but they're not set to educate well or teach well. And that is a big problem also when it comes to creating courses. Because if you find on maybe someone who has, done something a little bit comfortable and in front of the camera, or even if they have some content and enough technical expertise to record themselves in front of the camera, a lot of times what they'll try and do is they'll take that big long slide deck, 40 slides, 50 slides, 20 slides, and what they'll do is turn that off. What they'll do is they'll actually take the slide deck and try and do the presentation that they were doing live. They'll try and do that as a video, and they'll have one video. They'll just dump it out, and they'll wonder why, it's a great program. I got great content. Why aren't people signing up for it? So that's how it normally works. And a lot of people are kind of stuck in that rut doing it. And one of the things that we're going to do and that we're going to focus on that has worked in the past for me specifically, we're going to be doing what I call a hub and spoke model and a spoke and hub model. And think of it almost as an hourglass. So, we've got a wider at the top, we've got a hub in the middle, and then we've got a flare at the bottom. So it's an hourglass is one way to think of it, where we have the hub and spokes. Or the other way to think of it is we have the hub like a wheel, and then we have spokes all out from the hub. The reason I call it hub and spoke versus spoke and hub is which are the pieces that we are going to work on first. Am I going to work on the spokes first, or am I going to work on the hub first? And when someone comes from that keynote speaker, presentation, webinar, slide deck, drop the whole enchilada in one kind of drop, they're usually in that kind of hub model. Here's my content, and with no spokes. It's just bam, here's my stuff. Take it or leave it. It's there. I'll send some emails out. I'll do social media. I'll tell people to go see my hour-long or 45-minute presentation that I copied from somewhere. Often you'll find out it's a Zoom call, right? So someone's done a coaching call or they've done a webinar. It's recorded on Zoom. They'll just take that content, the video recording, and post it to YouTube, hoping that someone will either want to watch it, or it's because I have a name or I'm well known, someone may want to watch a recording of it. But if you're not already marketed successfully, you're going to find, you're just putting some content up and hoping to see what happens. So that's the situation that people are in. How does this hub and spoke kind of model fit into it? Well, actually, let's step back for a second. When I first ran into this, was in the early days of internet marketing, when we had ebooks. Now, the big thing to sell with digital products at the time when I started was all about ebooks. You kind of just had the only choice was, you were going to go and you were going to say, man, I got an ebook, I wrote a book, it's a digital ebook, I want to sell my book. And a lot of people were very successful with that. I sold thousands of copies of ebooks, and the ebook could be 50 pages, 100 pages, and it was usually a PDF document. And when we were creating these, we often had what was called a long form sales page, which you'll see as it was a website or a single page on a website. And it was like a magazine, web copy heavy, big, long, structured sales page. And at the end of it, you had the opportunity to download the ebook for $17, $27, $47, depending on obviously the content. And then people started, adding some bonuses in to bump up the price and doing some bumps and upsales. But it was ebooks, and most people started off, they had one ebook and they sold the ebook. And they're going, man, this is great. What I really should do now is write or create another ebook. So they would create another ebook, and each time they created an ebook, they had another web page, another landing page. And you would find, in the early 2000s is you would have some authors that would end up doing all sorts of pages or all sorts of ebooks that were 40 or 50 or 75 or 100 pages long, and they would have multiple ebooks. And for the most part, they were about a single theme or a single idea or promise that they were making, but they tended to be just pieces of the puzzle. And when that started happening, as an example for me, what I did is I think I had at some point I had 22 books that I had written, and I was selling on 22 individual pages. I had setapablog.com, buildmylist.com, getrankedfirstongoogle.com, face-to-face-selling.com. These were all pages. They were all single pages. And the pages sold a single book, and people downloaded them. And after we got going, the cool thing is you got 22 books, you got 22 pages, you got revenue coming in from 22 places. What we, of course, started to do was consolidate all of the books. So you would end up saying, okay, it's $27 for this book, $27 for this book, $27 for this book. Then you end up saying, well, why don't I just sell for $297 or $497? I'll sell all the books in a bundle, or I'll put all of the books into one master document. And that's what started happening. And when that happened, another piece kind of fell into place, and that was the membership site. And when the membership site got into place, where you had people saying, look, you become a member, you pay monthly, you get access to all of the books. If you pay yearly, for example, you may get some additional bonuses or services as part of the membership site, but you had a recurring income that didn't necessarily require that you had to sell all sorts of ebooks or create all sorts of multiple ebooks. You were able to learn from the community that you were creating, answer questions, and provide additional value in the membership site. And if you look at that kind of situation, you had a bunch of spokes, and they were all coming down to a hub. And when I started doing that, we had My Small Biz University, and I had those individual courses or books actually coming in, and people had the option when they were buying the book. They had the option, the sales page said, buy Get Ranked First on Google, the ebook, or buy Get Ranked First on Google, the ebook, and get 1 month's access to our membership site that has all of the other books. Now, what do you think most people ended up doing? They ended up joining the membership site, which is fine by me, because once they got in there, more rather than not, they had questions after they started reading all of the material, and they're trying to put it together. So you have a bunch of spokes, and it comes down to a hub. And as soon as I realized that, that's when I started focusing on membership sites. Now, membership sites were interesting to me because, and they still are, and why I'm not a big fan of membership sites at this point, is if someone is a member of a membership site, I can tell you from experience that the majority of people who join and pay and continue to pay will very rarely implement anything that they've learned in the membership site. I'm not saying everyone won't, but there's a large percentage of people that know a lot of stuff, but they end up never doing what they know they should be doing. So a membership site, the one thing that I think is missing there is really a form of structured content and also accountability, so that there is a process or a step that they should go through to reach the outcome that you're promising. So I'll give you an example of the book. So I had Build My List, Screen Capture Secrets, Set Up a Blog, Build My First Website. What are some of the other names I had? Hub and Spoke Marketing. These were all pieces of things people had to do to be successful internet marketing, but they would read the books and they wouldn't know, how does this fit together? Or, I'm focusing on getting ranked first on Google. How come my list isn't growing? Now, they had to have both, and they should have been tied together in order to build an internet marketing or digital marketing business. They knew that stuff. The information was there, but they just weren't following along. So Again, you got all these spokes down to a hub, which was a membership site with no accountability and no learning structure. So that's kind of the spoke and hub model that we had, but a lot of content in different places. And when you're a speaker and you're a coach, a consultant, you are an expert on something, I know for a fact that you have an outcome or something that you promise to people. You know, if for us, for example, I want people who are subject matter experts, like the ones I've been talking about, I want to put you into a position where you can create and sell your own courses from your own learning campus. And I'm talking about building a community, teaching people, and guiding them to the outcomes that they want. And being able to do that by holding them accountable and structuring the way that they actually learn things. And again, I'm a big fan of blended learning, which I talked about in a couple other videos, which is including yourself as the instructor in with these groups of people. But that's the promise. And in it, we have to look at things, right? We got to look at, how do I create my first course? How do I build my community? How do I create a learning campus? How do I market my courses? How do I market my campuses? These are all spokes to the promise that I'm making to people. And you are too. I know you're doing that. You're a subject matter expert. And if you have a subject that enough people are interested in, you can build an education business on this. How long? I've been going like 30 minutes now, and I just get ranting here. Sorry, I get carried away. I was looking at my notes, and the first thing I had was difference between hub and spoke and hub. I had 6 notes, different points I wanted to cover. 30 minutes. Technically, I've only been talking about spoke and hub. So you can see how these kind of get mucked up when I get on a rant or on a roll, kind of doing all this stuff. So I apologize. If that's the case. So you got spokes down to a hub. On the other hand, we had people creating those webinars, and they're putting the hub up, or their big presentation, the hour-long recording of the slide deck that they did on a webinar, or the recording of them up on the stage or a platform, or some kind of slide deck with a narration. They're creating that, and that's the hub, but they're not trying to market any spokes from that. What do I mean by that? So if you've got a big course, as an example, if someone goes to what would be a good example? If someone goes to YouTube, and like us, we're marketing. We're using YouTube as our primary marketing vehicle now. Someone goes there, they're looking for a specific answer to a single idea. Let me put it that way. They're either going to be entertained, obviously, which is go watch Mr. Beast and see who can hold their hand on a private jet the longest period of time. But they're going to learn one thing. They have a problem, they have a question, they want to get an answer to it. And if I look at that large single webinar that someone has recorded, and they're on YouTube, what are the likelihood of them finding that one answer in that one 45-minute, 90-minute, 60-minute recording that you put in? It ain't going to happen. Most part, they're not even going to start watching it because they won't find it. And even if they do, it's got a really bad thumbnail and a bad title that doesn't describe what the outcome is. And even if they start watching, they're not going to watch all 45 minutes. So people aren't going to use that. What they might do, though, is if they know, or if you create separate videos or small videos that are pieces of that big puzzle, and make those individual videos available, you're far more lucky to get people to watch and at least educate them on the process or the information that you're an expert in. So that one is like hub and spoke. So we got spoke and hub and spoke. All of these both of these are the right approach to take on YouTube. And the reason that I'm saying that is you are going to be in a position where you're going to be able to create for your learning campus, you're going to be able to create a paid master course, which is a course where you're guaranteeing some learning. And you're going to be able to prepare what I'm calling tutorials or lessons. So if you have that hub or that big course, that is something that you are bringing all of the pieces together and showing people how they fit together, how they apply it. So you're not just teaching it to them. You're not teaching an idea to them. You're teaching them how to gain or earn an outcome that they want. So that's the big hub piece. That's where it's all about learning and teaching. Those spokes are just the individual lessons or topics that are part of that big answer. So if you focus, you can focus on YouTube on two things. And as much as I talked, or you'll hear stuff about shorts being really important. An example, TikTok, if you don't have a TikTok account, I think most of the world does at this point. You got under 3-minute short form videos in the mobile format. A lot of it's entertainment, but some of it is educational. You focus on that and you go, man, I got to make all sorts of shorts for YouTube, same format, under 60 seconds, or TikTok. I got to make as many of those as I can and get in front of as many people. Hopefully they'll get interested in me. So I believe that for us, we shouldn't focus on creating shorts as shorts. I think what we should be doing is creating our courses on YouTube as the individual lessons, and also the main course without us. So let me explain what I mean by that. So and this is why I was talking at the start about the difference between what a membership is, a YouTube video, and a course. To me, a course and the ability to teach people includes accountability. It includes also you in live events, live support, live question and answer that allows you as the expert to bring context to the information that you're sharing. If I go on a membership site, it's just content thrown in behind a paywall. It's not there. If I put up my material on YouTube, there's no context with it. There's no support. There's no accountability. Nothing is there other than the fact that I have some content there. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be giving away a ton of content on YouTube, and we're going to allow people to see that content for free. And it's going to be both hub and spoke content. And we'll get into that in a second. But I just want to make sure you understand the courses, what I call courses, if I use that name improperly, the course that I may give away on YouTube is not a paid course, and it's not about teaching. A course on YouTube is that long form, and you'll see some of them that we do might be an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, where we'll actually create that much content, and we'll have it available on YouTube. But if you want to talk to me, or if you want to talk to our team, or if you want to talk or be part of a live event where we do live training, live question and answer, if you want to be part of the community where you can actually, provide information about what you're doing and have the community and the other members go and give you some advice or give you other examples of how that might work, that's paid. That's a paid course as part of our learning campus. You'll also get things like certifications. There'll be live events or live trainings to supplement the recorded ones. So those hub things are going to be courses, and this is the cool part that I think that we as subject matter experts are going to be in a great position to take advantage of. Is once you can do two things to get your hubs and spoke. If you already have a bunch of videos that you have created previously, you can bundle those together and save them as a big hub kind of piece, or and create a hub from those individual spokes. So you have got, and I think of it as a course. Actually, I'll show you one here, one that we did. I'll show you a playlist. Here's one here. I did a course as an example. I'll just open this up. and we'll stop it from playing. So I did a course 2 years ago, I think, and it was about how to get paid, or how to give away courses. Why you should give away courses to build your campus. And that course, if we open it up, I'll take a look. Actually, let me go to the screen here so that you see the scene. Let me go back. Actually, go to YouTube. Sorry, I wasn't showing the screen. Where's my YouTube one? There. Let's do that one. We'll go back and let's go. I should probably go to my channel, right? So let's open that. Go to my channel again. So here's the course I was talking about. It was a playlist that I put together, and this one was called How to Earn Money Giving Away Your Courses. So this is a playlist on my YouTube channel that has 12 videos. So it's got 12 videos. And the course was called How to Earn Money Giving Away Your Courses. So where did this content come from? Well, if I go back and I take a look actually at the website, and I go and take a look at the courses, open up all the courses, you're going to see in this one, we'll scroll through some of them. Where we go? Here it is. How to Earn Money Giving Away Courses. So if I take a look at this one, we scroll down, you're going to see there's 12 videos. So those 12 videos are these 12 videos. And what have I created here? So I've got 12 chances now with content that people can see on YouTube. If they want to come back and they want to take the quizzes, for example, if they want support, if they want to talk to me about what's going on, if they want to ask questions, see how it applies in their unique situation, they got to come on. And in my case, this one's free, so they have to register, where I collect their email address and I'm in a position to start marketing to them again. So that's when we had a bunch of spokes. We brought it down into the hub. Another example of the reverse is, let me just go to this one and channel content. I think we have it here. Yeah, so I had another one. Let me do this one here. So that was a big one. And again, this is a channel that we're just starting. So this one's just started in the last month. Where's one? Now the other thing is, these are all individual videos, right? So all 12 lessons are individual videos. So we have an individual thumbnail for an individual title, an individual description. These are all available as tentacles on YouTube, hopefully getting someone in to be interested about it. Where's the other one that we did? The other one I did was on sales pages. Yeah, course sales pages. Three great sales page strategies for selling your course on YouTube. So here's one here. If we take a look at it, this particular video I think is an hour and 20 minutes long. So this is a long form video. Now, is it an hour and 20 minutes long? Not necessarily, because if I go over here and I take a look at my courses again, and we take a look at one about sales pages, where's the one on sales pages? Scroll through. Oh, 3 types of course sales pages. So if I take a look at this one, what we did on this one as an example is we took this one, and I have all of these videos, and what I did is I took the individual ones and I put them together as one single course. So this one has one single course, and you're going, well, what does that have to do with YouTube? All of these, if you're going to create, or you have a course, you can split it up into individual pieces. Or if you have an existing number of pieces, you can bring them together to add them as a video or long form video to YouTube. And these are courses that videos are free, but you as the expert are not. So if someone wants to come in And I'm charging people for some of these ones because they're right now, these ones are 2 years old, I think, these courses. I'm charging people the email as the price of admission, that they can get in and they can ask questions in the discussion forum specifically. They can share their ideas and at least not have me live, but they can be involved in the community and hopefully get some feedback there, and plus access to the other courses that we have. So you can, if you have a bunch of content, you can bring it into a hub. If you have some hub content, you can create spokes with it, which allow you to get out in front of the people on YouTube to bring them back in to your learning campus. So I hope this kind of is making sense to you. The whole idea here is that you're going to have a content process for YouTube that is going to supplement what's happening on your learning campus. Again, if you hear the word membership or learning campus, I'm a big fan of quizzes, accountability, certification, gamification. These are the additional things that I think are going to be able to build the community that you're trying to get set up and that you want. And I'm going to go on a sidebar here because this is something that I run into. I get asked this question a lot is, you're doing this on WordPress. We use a stack of tools that are WordPress based. So this site, that the Teach Online one, the one we're just launching, that one is similar to the ones that we create for customers. And the reason it is because it's based on WordPress and you own the community. You own the course content, you own the community, you own the email addresses, you own all of the material here. It's something that you have forever and ever. I have some customers that say, well, there's these other softwares as a service, such as Thinkific is one that I hear all the time. I want to just put my course content up on Thinkific. And that is easy, but in the long term, I've never seen it work out. And here's an example why. I was looking yesterday, I'm pretty sure it was yesterday, Thinkific laid off the second time in a year. I think it was another 100 employees. That's right, 100 employees have now been let off, and that's the second layoff in under 365 days. So that's to start off the new year, and that was yesterday, I think I read that. When we first started marketing, there was for shopping carts, we all started off, we didn't have shopping carts, we had take payments with PayPal. And then after that, people started taking payments with this authorized.net, I think it is, which is still around, but that was a way to take payments. And then there was a shopping cart called Quick Pay Pro. So everyone changed everything to this service called Quick Pay Pro to take payments. Then Quick Pay Pro went out of business and it was replaced by one called One Shopping Cart. And One Shopping Cart, we had to change all of our websites because Quick Pay Pro disappeared to One Shopping Cart, and everyone used One Shopping Cart for a little while. But then it didn't do some things that everyone wanted, so everyone used one called Infusionsoft, which was a great tool, really hard to use. It's still around, it's called Keep, but it was hard to use, and everyone changed from Quick Pay Pro to One Shopping Cart to Infusionsoft. Now you don't hear about Infusionsoft too much, and it's been replaced by, you get the picture. Any of these services, it's been my experience that there's always changes to them. And if you have all your courses, for example, on Thinkific, and Thinkific, heaven forbid, ends up having to make some major changes, all of your courses, everything about your customers and those relationships is now on Thinkific. You don't own them, Thinkific does. If you are creating your community on Facebook, and Facebook is another example of something that, if you're in the business to business market, are your customers or your potential customers on Facebook? I don't think so. They're probably on LinkedIn. Now, if you create a group where you're learning from your customers, asking people to come in, sharing stuff with them, discussing stuff with them, and groups changes on Facebook, or Facebook changes or meta changes, what's going to happen to that community? It's gone. So we focus on the community and trying to build it here internally. That's what I recommend. It's not the only way. It's not the best way in your situation necessarily, but it's a really something that we strive to do for our customers. We never have time to do it for ourselves. So I thought we better put this one together and then get people starting to join on this one. So we have 2 costs for our courses here. One is an email address. So people have to pay to have access to the community here. And other ones are the mastery courses, which are cohort or group related, where we actually have regular classes to support the video. And these are live classes, in the most part with me, where we actually do live trainings on the videos and answering questions to give context to the problems that people are having. So we have a cost to the courses. One is email address, other is money. We have a yearly option to be part of this community. And again, if you're watching this for the second time, this is the part that I'm not good at YouTube yet, and something I got to spend more time on. I'm supposed to ask you, first of all, to look in the comments below if you're watching this for the second time for any of the links or stuff are mentioned. And I'm supposed to ask you, you've got to subscribe a lot often. So if you haven't subscribed, hit the red button or whatever it is for more access to all of these kind of live webinars that I'm doing on Wednesdays, every Wednesday at 1. Live webcast or live rant, pardon me. And access to that, just get notified when we're doing so. Hit that red button and hopefully subscribe. The other thing I got to tell you too, because I'm supposed to, is teachonline.io. It's free to register, get in, at least get started, and access to a lot of the content that we have currently. And if you don't have time, you just want it done for you, we have trainingsites.io, which is our agency that builds out these sites and manages them, creates content for them, manages that whole package for people of building these sites. That's our agency. If you want to just get that done, that's trainingsites.io. So those are the 2 pieces out of place. We've got hub and spoke, spoke and hub. Here's what we're doing, and just something to consider. I talk to people who we have a lot of customers who have been speakers or consultants, and they do have a lot of stuff in their head, but they're having trouble spreading themselves too thin or limiting their income or their business growth because it's based on their personal time. So they're going, I got this stuff in my head. How do I get it into a digital format or a course so that I can start getting paid for what I know and not what I'm actually doing this week? So how do I create my course? A lot of people struggle with it. And this hub and spoke or spoke and hub approach is something that can really help you in that respect. And here's the way I want you to consider how to work this. If you are comfortable when you have a webcam in front of you, a speaker, you've got computer set up to be able to do a screen capture, you've got PowerPoint slide decks. If you're okay with that, what I'm going to ask you to do is think about that hub and then start creating the spokes for that hub/course. So here's an example. If I have, and I've done these ones, I've done a couple other, I have a video on how to build out your script. I have another one on how to create your first course. The way that I do it is with a mind map, and I just basically have questions. What is it? When does it apply? How should I use it? What do I do? And I just take those chunks, answer those small questions about what the course topic or the course promise is. I just take those, and what I want you to do is write them out and then take your slide deck or whatever you have in your head, but have it so that you record anywhere from 3 to 10 minutes answering that question. And just take an evening, take an afternoon, take a day, and do a couple. They don't have to be perfect to start. Do some 3 to 10 minute chunks. And you may have to redo them a little bit, but you're going to have some 3 to 10 minute chunks put together that can be turned into a course as your hub and also as the individual spokes that you can put on YouTube. So you can do the individual spokes. Do launch one today, one tomorrow, or one today, one on Monday, one on Wednesday, one on Monday, one on Wednesday. So take the month or the 3 weeks or however long you need to create these 3 to 10 minute chunks. And at the end, you're going to have a hub or your finished course. And all you've done is you've created it for YouTube. You've done the recording. You've shared what you have in your head, but you've got the different lessons for your course. So that's the spoken hub model. So you just need 3 to 10 minutes. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. The quality doesn't have to be perfect. The production doesn't have to be perfect. The quality of your information is the important part. So pick those 3 to 10 minutes out. You're going, great, I got that. 3 to 10 minutes, and you're going to create some kind of hub. Where do we use that on YouTube? So here's the one on YouTube. If I go back here, I'm going to go and I'm going to say, well, here's one I did backwards. I'm going to turn this off here. And if you look, I've got the lessons here on the right-hand side. Let me switch over. I've got to make sure that I'm showing the right screen here. There we go. So on the right-hand side, you can see the individual lessons. All I'm suggesting that you do is create one lesson at a time, and you're going to add those. You're going to add those to your YouTube account and also your Learning Campus. Both places. There's both places you're going to put them. And each one of them is related to the big course. But you don't have to have this finished all at once. Each time you do one, 3 to 10 minutes, don't think, oh, I got to create a course for my Learning Campus, or I got to create a big course for YouTube. You need 3 to 10 minutes that answers a piece or a spoke of that course hub that you're talking about. So these ones, look, 2 minutes, 21 seconds, 3 minutes, 58 seconds, 4:35, 3:47, 2:45, 6:27. They're not long. You've just got to do one at a time, and they don't have to be done all at the same day. But what you are going to do is you're going to add them to your campus and to YouTube. And it's going to become individual courses on your site. So if we go back to the Learning channel, my channel, you're going to see they're in the videos. So they're individual videos. There they are there. Individual videos. They're also in the playlist, where they're here as a playlist. And I also have it as a long form one that's all together. So I've got these different pieces or places where people can hopefully find them or be introduced to us on YouTube. The same content in my case is available in YouTube, and I'm charging an email address at this point. But if I wanted to, I could have the version in the membership/Learning Campus that includes me or includes certification or includes quizzes. That's something that people have to pay for. And you can introduce that idea in any of the materials that you've created here. But it's kind of you're bringing people into your Learning Campus with these individual spokes. All you need 3 to 10 minutes. Just plan them out ahead of time, knowing that in fact, hey, I'm not doing ad hoc videos. I'm doing videos in a series that are going to turn into a course. Now, there's some individual things that I think are really important on this, and it's kind of a byproduct of it. And that is something called podcasting. And if you aren't familiar with podcasting, if you've been under a rock or under a tree, podcasts, when you think of them, traditionally it's an audio file, right? So you may go to iTunes and subscribe to a podcast, or Google has podcasts now. There's Libsyn, a whole bunch of different sites where there's just basically a directory of audio recordings that people subscribe to, and it comes to them whenever you do a new episode. Shows up right on your mobile device. Again, lots of great stuff in there, entertainment, learning material, but they get distributed everywhere. They use something called RSS feeds, which is real simple syndication. And if someone subscribes to your RSS feed with their by subscribing to your podcast, when you publish something, it automatically gets sent to them. So there's a real benefit in podcasts in terms of spreading your tentacles out and providing a structured series of content. There's a huge benefit in doing videos for YouTube for our lessons. And what is it? Technically, you've automatically created a podcast. Now, how do you do that? There's a number of tools that we use. One of them is called Descript as an example. And what Descript does is after you finish the video for YouTube, what happens is you give it to Descript. Descript will separate the audio out for you as a separate file, and it will transcribe the video for you. So you have a video complete, you have a written transcription, and you have an audio separate. From there, there's tools, for example, like Blueberry is one. These are WordPress plugins, but the one that we use is called Seriously Simple. What's the actual plugin for that one again? I can't remember. I'll put it in the description after. But there's a number of plugins for doing podcasts on your WordPress site. We use one. I add the audio file and the transcription just as a regular post in WordPress. And what happens is it automatically gets published to iTunes, to the Google Play Store, the Amazon podcasting. There's 12 or different places. So anytime I do one of these little videos, I automatically have a podcast. All I've done is I've added the recording of 3 to 10 minutes. I've added it and put it onto my website and uploaded it to YouTube. I also have a podcast for it now. So another opportunity to get in front of more people that are directing people back to your learning campus. So search, podcasts, marketing, thumbnails. The other thing with this, with all in on YouTube, and again, it's just, again, I get carried away in here, and I apologize for rambling. I'm trying to keep it as structured as I can. The other thing that's happening now just with YouTube and why we're in on it so much is that YouTube videos are showing up in Google search results. So in the past, when you were doing, get ranked first on Google search optimization, you did a written blog post and you were kind of worrying about keywords and phrases and keyword density and making sure that, it showed up or ranked highly in the Google search engine. What's happening now is the videos that you are creating are showing up alongside of traditional website or written website results as the opportunity for people to start, finding you. And again, these show up at the top of the search, and it's been my experience that the context is actually taken from within the video content that you have created. So your videos from YouTube are going to be start in search as well as your written content. So that's just something to think or remember that you're doing, and you go, man, I got some YouTube videos up. Where else am I getting it? Podcast traffic. You're getting it from searches on YouTube. You're getting it from searches on Google. And the whole idea is to get them back to your campus or your hub because you put the exact same content in all three places. But what they're missing is, in the campus, they're missing you and the community and things like making sure that they're accountable, certification quizzes, all those additional pieces that we're adding. So those are a couple of things. I'm just looking at my notes here. Now, and one last piece here. Again, I've been going an hour already. One last piece. For instructors, if you're not going to make those individual lessons, those 3 to 10 minute ones, you can do the reverse, which is the hub and spoke. And the way to do that for us as subject matter experts is exactly the same way that I'm doing it here right now. And what am I talking about? Well, if you know something and you have the ability to do a live webcast like this, or if you are being interviewed on a webinar and get access, or you host webinars where you interview other people, you have a chunk of content that can now be split up into multiple videos. And those videos, in the most part, you'll have the ability to chunk them into specific spokes of that hub. Because when you do a webinar, and this one I tried to do it, and again, this is, try my best in this example, is to make sure that, I talked about 6 things to kind of go, but this hub and spoke, there's chunks here that I could take out. I can edit this long hour video and take pieces of it to take 3 to 8 or 10 minutes to turn it into a lesson. I can also take 60-second chunks out and create shorts from it. So I've created content once with that recording. I've created content once, but what I've done is I've repurposed it to use it for individual videos and or for shorts and other platforms as well. So anything that I create for short can be used on TikTok as well. So again, another way to market yourself, but also create courses on your campus, and also being able to create more content on YouTube, where you're going to hopefully get more subscribers, more people coming to see things. So just kind of a big roundabout way that I talked about today. This whole hub and spoke thing, I had hubandsporkemarketing.com as a domain. It was a huge mistake. I never should have got rid of it, but I didn't renew it sometime. I personally think for subject matter experts, people who create courses or who want to build learning campuses, education businesses, I think we're in an absolutely gorgeous position to be able to use YouTube and win on YouTube, as well as building learning campuses. And all you have to do is capture what it is that you're doing. Digital exhaust. I mention that almost every video. Capture your digital exhaust. Everything that you do on a regular basis that you have the permission to capture, try and capture it. Try and put it in a place where you can have capture it and repurpose it as something you can post to YouTube as a spoke or an individual 3 to 10 minute or maybe a little bit longer lesson, as long as it's planned out that fits into a spoke. So individual spokes that can be put together as a hub, or if you're recording the hub, create individual spokes for it, and you're going to have these multiple little hubs that you're going to be able to put as courses in your learning campus. And each time you do this, you're going to have another great chunk or lesson in your library, and that's going to add more value to it. Now I'll just show you quickly. We'll go back, hopefully I can go back here to our courses here, the ones that we're doing out on the Teach Online site. This one here, just at the top, we've got, you can see in the top here, I've got Teach Online, I've got dashboard, courses, free courses and paid courses. We've got groups, classes, community, and some resources. So on this one here, right now we have 35 courses and 28 as a user here. I'm registered for 28 of them. I'm enrolled in 28 of them. So these, if I look at these particular ones, so on this one, for example, this one has 8 modules or 8 lessons. These are 8 individual videos that we put together that introduce the campus mastery steps. So I've got a description of it, who it's for, and then we've got the different pieces that go together here. And this one is set up as an example. You can see this one is set up. This one is actually a paid course, but this one is set up where it's dripped. So if someone starts it, it's dripped content that's available at a particular date. So that's an example of a dripped course, but there's a lot of material that's in that one. That's actually a paid one. So let me go back to, pardon me for showing you that one. I didn't want to show you that one. I want to show you another one that's simple. It's the campus blueprint, because that one's a little bit easier. Where's one there? Where's my blueprint course? I think it's at the start. Where did I put it? Well, here's actually one. I'm just trying to think of a. Here's one here that I did that was about easy digital downloads. I'll show you this one just because it's easier to kind of answer the session there. But this one, where we had 1, 2, 3, 4, I know Easy Digital Downloads really well, and it's a cart that we use on a number of membership sites / learning campuses that we create for customers. But these are all individual videos, and I didn't do them all at the same time. I planned out the different pieces because it's something that we do on a regular basis. But if I knew I was setting something up for a customer, in this case with permission, or if I was just doing it as a test internally, I know that I should probably record this one piece because it's part of a course. Record this one piece because it's part of a course. They also go up to YouTube because someone may go to YouTube and say, how do I install Easy Digital Downloads? Or how do I set up the email messages in Easy Digital Downloads? It's part or single video answering that one question, but it's also part of a playlist, also part of that main hub. And the main hub in this case is a single course, and the course is Easy Digital Downloads, how to use that cart. So it's how to use that plugin. Something else, it's just because I'm here and I'm ranting, when you take a look at what we originally did with plugins, and this is another huge benefit from YouTube. One of the things we did really poorly and we're fixing is when we were creating courses, the thumbnails and the titles that we were using are atrocious for YouTube. They work really poorly. They're not marketing titles, they're literal titles. Plugin Easy Digital Downloads. How to use the Easy Digital Downloads plugin to take payments online. It's literal, this is what it's about. It doesn't promise anything. It just tells what the course is about. It's coming from the perspective of the instructor, not the perspective of the learner. And if I'm going, how do I take payments online for my courses? And if I had named this the easiest way to take payments for your digital products, people would have looked at it, not Easy Digital Downloads. Also, the thumbnail is absolute crap. It doesn't stand out at all. This doesn't fly on YouTube, and it doesn't help when we have multiple courses in our course library. It doesn't stand out. There's no structure for it. It doesn't help at all. So putting or creating this content and using it as content marketing on YouTube forces you to create better thumbnails and give better titles to the courses and the content that you're creating. And each of the spokes that you create, they need a thumbnail. They're going to need a title for that lesson. So it's just great for marketing externally and also internally. Because 35 lessons or 35 courses, I think there's maybe 500 video tutorials on here right now amongst all of these different courses. But if someone comes and they see all this, they don't necessarily know how does it all fit together. They're answering a question, how to use Vimeo for my videos. This one is, where's a good one? How to gamify your campus, how to onboard new customers. LinkedIn basics, Thrive landing pages, how to use all-in-one Canada. How do you start podcasting? So people are going to have to search through these to find them to answer specific questions. What we've done, and the difference between a membership site and YouTube, are really these groups or structured learning tracks based on the courses. And this person I'm logged into, these are the things we got: getting started, creating courses, building your campus, and marketing your campus. So the courses in these groups are the paid mastery courses that also include things like, in our case, just to give you an example, we have regular Zoom calls that are associated with this group, and it's for the mastery courses. Okay? So we can actually have Zoom calls that are only for people who are paid to be in this group. We also have discussions, documents, invites, manage, a feed of what's going on there. But that is for a specific group of people who are paid. And they're accountable. If they're given a task, they have to do it. It's not something they can, if they're going to learn something, for example, or learn how to do it, they have to pass a quiz. They have to pass assignments in order to go on to the next step. And they have someone to talk to who says, hey, I can't do this, I'm stuck. Or how did this apply in my unique situation? This is the real difference between using your content for marketing on YouTube and creating courses and monetizing it on the inside. And I've talked a bit in the past about how important I think that's going to be for us moving forward. And the reason is with so much content on YouTube, it's hard to stand out, and people are creating content that is disjointed or not integrated with results. So I think there's going to be a ton of content, and people are on YouTube that is disorganized, that people are going to be clamoring for help implementing it. And if you can provide the learning tracks or the outcomes that people want and put it in a way that you can help them or teach them how to do it, you're going to be able to pay a lot more money or get paid a lot more money for the same information that you have. You're going to be able to get paid for what it is you know and a little bit for what you do, because we're all teachers at heart, man. If you're just in it to get rich, to throw crap up against the wall to stick, this isn't necessarily the place for you. If you're in a situation where you go, man, I really want to teach, I have a passion for this, I just want to teach people how to do it too, and I want to help them do it, this getting paid for it, because you have a learning campus, frees you up to some extent from going, oh, I got to get a speaking gig, or, oh, I got to write another book and try and sell that book, or I need another consulting gig, or, my billable hours aren't big enough. Get paid for what you're worth. Start building your own community out. Keep your community, keep your people, help them out, teach them, and have some fun with this. So I think I'm going to bring this in for landing because I really got through one of 6. No, I got through a couple more. I didn't talk about, I'll just talk for a second on it. I didn't talk too much about ChatGTP, and I'll do another session on that one because it is important. We are using it with some customers and also internally. And where we're using it, what I had intended to do is show some live examples today. I had it open here too. If you can see on the screen, I had it open. The thing with ChatGTP, it is an absolute gold mine if you're trying to find out what topics are important to your target market, how to structure the information that target market wants in terms of course outlines. However, it doesn't ask itself questions. You, as the expert, have a knowledge that can allow you to structure the information that you get from it in a way that your target market or the people you're trying to help, you'll be able to put it together to help them out. So you can provide context, and questions to the information and the facility that ChatGTP brings you. And there's not just ChatGTP. I'm just using that one because it's the one that's in all the news right now. But we're going to talk to that one. I'll do another session on that one because we've been collecting questions that course makers can use to build course outlines, to get bullet points, to create emails for marketing your courses, to create onboarding emails, to create blog posts, to search engine optimize content, to write course descriptions. You get the picture. It's, if I don't know what to do on YouTube or what lessons I should create, ChatGTP can help you create those lessons, but you have to ask the right questions and you have to verify the context of what it gives you as it approaches or as it pertains to your expertise. So we'll do that one in another session. I just want to make sure that I kind of blatted about Hub and Spoke and Spoken Hub. Powerful stuff. If you want to learn more about it, make sure to join up at teachonline.io/registry. You can join for free. Again, this is a site we're just starting to roll out, put together. If you have stuff you want to see, or if there's questions that you have, just get into one of the forums or one of the question and answer places here, forums, or even ask in the chat. So you can go to the forum, ask in the chat, and we'll put it there. Now I'll actually just show you one thing because we're here. Here's one. I'll just open up a blog just as one last thing, because I just want to show you we're doing what we said. So here is 3 ways people learn stuff, which is a blog post that we just did. And I look at it, and what's there? A YouTube video. So, and that's a short actually. So I created a blog post from a short just by doing the short, adding the video here, and it's put in. Description from YouTube, it's used here. Same featured image that we use, thumbnail image that we used on YouTube, it's here. So that's just an example of repurposing the content. I'm just trying to see one that did recently. Here's one here. Here's a good example too. Why don't courses sell online? 44 minutes, which is one of these ones we just did before. I have a podcast. So this podcast is on iTunes, Google Play, the Amazon podcast directory. Exact same thing. Why courses don't sell online. This transcription is the 40-minute transcription, or part of the transcription from the audio that we created with Descript. So just a real, we're trying to do or use this content being created on YouTube. We're using it for marketing on YouTube, but we've also got a process to create courses and or marketing content within our learning campuses, which I think is a huge opportunity. Because if you're a subject matter expert, that's one thing you don't have a shortage of, and that's talking. I've been talking to 1 hour and 20 minutes already, so hopefully you got some value in this. We'll break it up into some individual lessons or videos that you'll see on YouTube. They'll also be here on the site. If you haven't already subscribed, please make sure to subscribe. Put some comments below if you have those. Haven't registered, teachonline.io, and our agency is trainingsites.io, where we actually build, manage, set up all of these systems for you. And again, we're here to anyone who is a subject matter expert, wants to get paid for what they know, not just what they do. We could teach people how to start, build, and grow their own education business. So take care. Expect the best. My name is James Maduke, and we'll see you again next week at 1. So let's bring this in for a landing. There we go. Finish up. Bye now.